Do you want to take your creative passions, turn them into a lucrative profession? That's kind of what this channel is about. So if you do, you definitely want to work with some kind of expediency. You want to work fast. Now, why? Art, fine art, music, film, all of them. Whenever you're working for a client, they want it done fast, cheap, and good. Okay, so fast, good, cheap. It's like a triangle. And it's kind of a known thing that you're going to get two, but you're not going to get all three. So you're going to get it cheap and fast, but you're not going to get it good. You'll get it good and cheap, but you won't get it fast, so on and so forth. So the great part about this is if you can do work fast with quality, that means you can charge more because the client doesn't expect to get it cheap. They're getting it fast and they're getting good quality. You should want to do work actually quickly anyway because it keeps you in the zone. It keeps you in the flow. It's hard to stay motivated and enthused about something that's taking you forever to get done. If you're an artist or creative, you can relate to that, right? So you want to do exceptional work. You want to do it fast. And I'm going to talk about 3 areas that I think you can work on. I'm just as guilty, by the way, of being slow in these areas as anyone else. So I don't want to talk like I've mastered this in any way, but we're doing this together and that's the fun of it, right? The first one is an obvious one, which I'm sure you've heard before, which is goals and deadlines. Right? You want to be able to keep your focus in one place, and that's what a goal does. And the more you don't have a target, something to shoot for directly, the more you're going to have your attention spread out all over the place, right? I tend to get caught in kind of that process phase a lot. Like I overplan way too much. I don't know if you can relate. If you can, comment down below. Let me know. Are you one of those people who have a hard time getting out of your head and maybe you overthink too much? This is me, right? But really what I should be doing is diving into that power of intention and just focusing on that goal and drilling down on that. Don't get caught up in the structures and the planning and the tactics and the overthinking and all of that. And the way that I've got beyond it is I now have a checklist. And I have like 7 or 8 things on that checklist, along with my affirmations. And I know that if I do these 7 or 8 things every day, it's virtually impossible that I won't reach the goal. See, because the goal is a series of small things that we do every single day. So if we don't do those small things, what happens? We don't reach our goal, right? So if you're checking those things off each day, and some day I'm getting 6 out of the 7, some days 2, some days none. And I know that was a bad day or something pulled me off my game or whatever, right? But a checklist. Simple, nothing to overthink. And you know that if you do those 6 or 7 things, they are the recipe to reach that eventual goal. See what it does for you. I think it'll help speed things up immensely. I had to quit a few bad habits that were kind of distractions, and that's kind of going to be a little bonus there. You got to eliminate distractions any way that you can. Put your phone someplace else. If you got to get out of the house and go someplace where you're not distracted, do that. You know, there was a guy that I talked to. He's over in a community office area where they just rent out cubicles, you know, like everybody's got kind of a different business going on. And I said, well, you don't have an office in your house, huh? And he goes, no, I got an office in my house. I said, well, how come you spend $150 to rent this out here? He says, because when I come here, I know what I'm here to do, and there's no distractions. I don't have kids. I don't have the phone ringing. I don't have a wife telling me I got to empty the garbage. None of that stuff. I'm here to do this in that time period that I'm there. So that was one way that he figured that out. That's just an extra bonus in there. I'm going to move to the second one, which is smoothie, blendy, worky, detailed work that just eats up a shit ton of time rather than looking at something as a whole and just embracing, especially in the beginning stage, the flaws. As the Romans put it, their definition of genius was the divine nature of everything. It is the nature of the thing. Fire does what fire does. Wind does what wind does. Dogs do what dogs do. Humans do what humans do. Flaws are part of our creative genius. I did this a lot in film work where I would cover up some of the things that, oops, we forgot to film that or whatever, and I'd have to do some fancy editing. And later on, people would say, man, I really liked how you did this in the movie. And I'm like, ooh, that was where I covered up the flaw. It came off like some kind of genius effort. No, it wasn't. I was covering up flaws. But Flaws can lead to some pretty cool discoveries if you just kind of let them flow and don't try to over detail and over perfect. I know I kind of like counteracted what I said there, right? Because I said covering up the flaws, but no, you definitely want to kind of embrace the flaws. And one thing I want to do with you is give you an assignment. Okay, this is a good assignment. It's a fun assignment. You're going to do 10 projects, little pieces of work, whatever it is that you do. Like if you're a painter, you're going to do 10 paintings, a songwriter, you're going to write 10 songs, whatever. But you're going to give yourself a goal with each one of them. So you're going to have like a thumbnail of what you want to do, an idea of what the song's going to be. Real brief, you know, you can put it in one sentence. Give yourself a timeline, going back to the goals. Timeline to get it done, 1 day or 1 week or whatever. I would say a day. You can write a song in a day. You can do a short story in a day, a painting in a day. You know, some of my paintings will take weeks, and I'm getting out of that. And I'm going to share that with some of these videos moving forward. I'm actually going to take on this assignment. 10 pieces, you touch it once, you don't overwork it. Intentionally lay the stroke down. Just When you're doing the chords, intentionally lay those chords down. Do everything, and when you write, vomit onto the page. Let it be what it's going to be, and write from the heart. Come back, evaluate it later from the head. But these projects are not for the head. These projects are for the heart. They're for the soul. They're for the passion. You want to let that flow through you from a higher state of consciousness. I don't want to get too woo-woo here, but you were brought into this world with a purpose and a mission, and you know what that is. It's innate within you, and you need to follow that calling, and you need to embrace that part of yourself and embrace those unique flaws. Bring them out into the open and say, hey, that's my confident self. That's my authentic self, and show it to the world. So get rid of that form of OCD and embrace the flaws by doing this activity and this assignment, and then change up your style. Whatever it is that you are used to doing and habitually doing all the time, we want to break you out of that, because those habits are what's wasting all the time. Again, overworking, overthinking, overperfecting, right? By the way, you're not going to do this forever. This is going to be for a temporary period of time. Sticking to the 10 pieces that we were talking about before, you're going to do it in a different style than what you're used to. So if you paint realist stuff, you're going to do like an avant-garde type of thing, or maybe an expressionist painting or something like that, work in different colors, you know, some kind of different style, but you're going to do it quickly. You're not going to think you're going to paint from the heart, from the soul, from a good place. Coming back to this, set those goals and deadlines to neutralize your overthinking. Let your flaws display your authenticity and your genius. Even with these videos, I make mistakes. I stumble on my words. I'm not a perfect person. I'm flawed. But I believe that when you can just let those flaws flow, it brings out your authenticity and awakens the creative genius. And then change up your style. By the way, this is a new channel, so it's not like my old channel. I'm doing different kinds of videos over here. So I'm trying different things all the time, getting out of my comfort zone. I hope you're willing to do the same. And I believe that's it. Oh, one last thing. A lot of artists are intimidated by these AI tools. And if you're afraid that AI is going to replace your job, you may be right. Okay, there's going to be a shakeout of artists in different fields because of AI. But if you can look at AI as a tool to speed up the process of the things that take a lot of time, that are not the creative process, that are not the fun part and the flowing part and the stuff that you really enjoy, now is the time to make that happen. So learn to use AI tools, because there's always going to be a market out there for human beings and human art, because AI doesn't have a soul. Humans do. Just use AI tools to speed up the process. I think it's a good thing. So that's it. That's all I got, guys. Let me know what you think of today's video and comment. I'd like to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, and subscribe if you want to be a part of the community. And I want to thank you for being here. My name is Ben Juhl, and we'll talk next time.